Today we have our first baker, our first culinary artist, Srah Reid. She owns a business, Flavorful Creations, along with her husband. And she's here today just to share her wisdom on what it's like being in business and what wisdom she learned to keep progressing and keep evolving her business to next level, to the next level. So I want to say thank you, Srah, for being here with us today.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. I guess my first question, we can just jump on in here. So you transitioned from social work to owning your own business. So you help like a lot of youngins in the city just find their path, prepare them for life, which is very essential and pivotal work. What was that like to leave that behind?
Well, any true social worker, therapist out there will definitely understand you can never get away from it. When that's something that's your calling and your passion, you can never get away from it. So I've temporarily put it on a back seat, but I'm still doing it. But just to kind of transition from doing that as my main to now doing the business and the baking as my main, it's tough. I miss it, but it's still being in the kitchen is therapeutic, and you already know
Yep.
working in the kitchen, it's therapy because we're talking, we're laughing, we're dancing, we're releasing.
Mm-hmm.
So I do still miss working with my youngins and my adolescents, but it still brings me a form of therapy as well. So
Yes. That's awesome. Yeah, working with you is like very therapeutic and like you listen so well and give me such great advice. So yeah, like you said, it's just that's just in your nature to be therapist, like social work, and that's super dope. So when did you decide to take your path in your own hands? I know that you like went to school for to have your career, you know? So you went to school all those years. And did you ever think like I wanted to be a business owner while you were like in school or in your career?
no, that never crossed my mind. One of my former places of employment, I was working with adolescents, and I would always bring in baked goods to my
Mm-hmm.
coworkers because it was
Mm-hmm.
just kind of, working with adolescents and kind of hearing some of their stories and situations. Oftentimes, some of us would be down, and so bringing in my baked goods just like made everybody happy. People would be eating them and dancing, and I'm like, okay. So soon, people started asking, "Oh, can we buy this from you?" I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." And once my husband Ruben noticed that, he was like, "Hey, why not turn this into a business?" Because I know you can remember back to 2008,
Yeah,
2009, when we had that huge economic decline, and there
yeah,
was such a shift, not only financially, it took a toll on people's emotions and all of that.
yeah.
And my husband was laid off. And so he's the one that sparked the idea of Flavorful Creations. And I'm like, well,
Nice, Ruben.
already I'm already baking. And then in 2011, we decided to go ahead with the LLC. And 2012, we did our first farmers market at the Eastside Farmers Market. Shout out to the Eastside Farmers Market.
Nice, hey.
No longer in existence, but that's what helped us get started. And then in 2015, through a lot of encouragement of the baking community and like other um, food networks, encouraged us to get our wholesale processing license. So we did that in 2015, and we never looked back.
Oh wow, that's dope. I didn't know a lot of that, you know. I do know you like brought your desserts in for your coworkers and stuff like that. So that's always cool to know. So how is it like working with your significant other and just always having that support with your business? That has to be really amazing.
It's really good to have a partner, somebody that believes in your vision,
Yeah.
encourages you. I can't say that some days aren't challenging.
Hmm. Right. I can understand.
Because when you work with somebody and you live with somebody and
Mhm.
you have children with somebody, you're always with that somebody.
Right.
So it's good to take breaks, like kind of create that separation a little bit. But that support is paramount. Like I don't know what I would do without his support and his encouragement. So
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, so just like because this is called like creative wisdom, I kind of want to ask like what what did you learn at your because you worked in schools and shelter in a shelter previously, and like what did you learn there that you use in business, like people skills or like dealing with customers, or what type of how charismatic you should be to attract people? I don't know.
Right. Well, going back to one of the previous things you said, did I ever think of being a business owner? If
Yeah.
you had come back to me in 2008, it was like, oh, you're going to own a business. I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, I really like social work and I'm in grad school right now. So I don't
Right.
know what you're talking about. But it's just like following that path, going with your passion and not being afraid to kind of step out from necessarily the norm and the things that my previous places of employment had shown me, especially working with customers. You need to listen.
Yes.
You know, they say the customer's always right. No, not all the time, but you listen.
Right.
You need to listen to that customer. You kind of need to just be in tune. People are want to be people, and they're going to present with different attitudes and different commentary, and it's up to you how you present and how you take it, because as a business owner, any business owner and creative out there can tell you, Erica Badu said it best. Keep in mind that I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my
Okay.
and then I mean we get sensitive,
Hmm.
but previous places of employment have told me, kind of have a thicker skin. Just
Yeah.
listen, keep in mind, don't take it personal,
Hmm.
and always work on improving your craft and most importantly, improving yourself. And I would say one of the other things that I've learned is to take breaks. Mental health to me is extremely important.
Yes.
Take a mental health break. Some people are like, no, I'm just going to keep going and going and going. You burn yourself out completely. And then if you don't have anything to give for yourself or to
Hmm.
yourself, you can't be there for others. You can't be there for your business. A customer could approach you in a different manner and then you snap.
Hmm.
It's not good for yourself. Take breaks. That is definitely what my previous places have told me. Take breaks.
Yeah, that is so important. Especially like you said, like mental health. And if you're so burnt out and you've been running and you've been overworking yourself, like you might lose your creativity, you might lose your drive, you may not even want to show up to work, or maybe even though it's your work, you're just like, I just want to sleep. So I think that is like amazing advice to take breaks and
That's why
pull
I'm at the
yourself.
beach right now.
Hey, I love it.
you
So
know, at the island, eating an island style
rum
rum.
cake. Ooh. So yeah, we're gonna do some tasting. I wanna oh, should we do tasting right now?
Hey, it's your show. I'm not
It's
opposed to it.
your show. It's your show. This I'm documenting your existence right now, okay? But I want to do a taste test because I've been waiting to eat this cookie since
I,
Wednesday. So I
I
just
mean, when am I going to turn down a baked good? Like, really?
ooh.
I'm never going to turn down an island style rum cake.
Ooh, so tell us what you have there, Sarah.
So, what I'm getting ready to indulge in is our island style rum cakes. This
Mm,
flavor is the butter rum flavor.
mm,
And right now, they're currently sold through me, whether you order online at www.flavorfulcreationsllc.com or at the Eastern Market in Detroit and at Holiday Market in Royal Oak. That's currently where these are being sold.
mm.
And I always do the packaging so tight.
Good. Keep it fresh.
You know how I am about food safety, and I'm just a
Yes.
weirdo about getting germs in, but then
Yes.
it takes me forever to take the packaging.
Yes. That's one thing. When you buy from Sarah, you are getting, she is like a germaphobe. So she cleans everything front to back, washing dishes all throughout the shift.
You got to, especially now in the era. But I was like this before COVID, though. But
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
now with COVID, everybody's super freaked out, understandably
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so
Ooh,
what do
yeah.
you?
I have. The chocolate chip cookie with pumpkin seeds. So I can't wait to taste this.
I think I'm gonna let you go first because you have been waiting patiently.
Oh yeah, so patient. And I also brought a lemon rum cake that I already ate. I told Sarah I ate it the rest of it at like 4 a.m. today. So don't judge me. Mm, mm, mm,
Here.
mm, 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 mm. I love it, and it got that crunch to it.
Yes, it's that seed that
Mm-hmm.
just provides that subtle, like extra boost of texture,
Mm-hmm.
the smooth and softness of the cookie, and you got that little crunch from
Oh
the
my
chip.
goodness, it's
Mhm.
so good. I love seeds and nuts, and with seeds, I mean, they just provide so many nutrients anyway. Then you got the chocolate chip. Oh my
Right.
gosh.
And I'm very careful about, and you already know, like the ingredients that I put in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's raw pumpkin seeds because I don't want any additional salt or anything like
Right. To interrupt with the flavor that you already have going.
exactly. Look at how moist this cake is.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so,
So
so good.
Sarah Ben's at the Easter Market in Detroit, and she has a table down there. So if you're a Detroiter or if you're from outside the city and you ever come to Detroit, definitely stop at Easter Markets on Saturday to see her live in action. And also for Detroiters and Metro Detroiters, she is at some markets. So I'm gonna put all of her info in the link below, and you can follow her on social media, go to her website, and just keep up with her like that. So I'm gonna get back to the questions because we got some more questions about food and just balance and everything like that.
Perfect.
All right. So you balance so many things, like we talked about just previously, like motherhood, business, marriage. How do you find time to show up for yourself? I know you say you take like mental health breaks and things like that. So what do you like to do just to relax your mind and just chill and just be free?
Well, I have to honestly admit, at first it was hard
Mm-hmm.
because especially being a mom, it's like, well, my babies need me, so I got to do stuff for the kids, and
Right.
it's like I'm putting so many other things and people first
Yes.
that it's hard to come back to me. But I had to when I got to the point where I was just burned out, no more. So some of the things I like to do, especially when the kids are taking a nap, I just enjoy being in my own little sanctuary, my own little space, and just relishing in the quiet. I'll
Mm,
turn the TV off. I'll put my phone on do not disturb. I take a nap.
good.
I'll read. I'll pray. I'll meditate. It's just centering yourself and just getting clarity for yourself and just resting your mind.
Yes.
Society where we're always on our phones, everything's fast, everything's this, everything's instantaneous.
Mm-hmm.
What's this person doing? What's that person doing? What the,
Mm-hmm.
shush, away from the noise. And ideally, this is actually my being by the water and the beach is one of my favorite things. And I'm grateful that Michigan has the man-made beach like the one in Belle
Yeah.
or obviously the beautiful Great Lakes, and we're
Mm-hmm.
just surrounded by so much beauty, so much nature.
Mm-hmm.
Just that's one of the things I liked about quarantine was taking the walks in the
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause you such a like a energetic person. Like you always I mean, I see you like when you really, really focus, like you be in your zone, but when you're in the kitchen with Sarah, it's dancing, it's laughter, it's just positive energy, good vibes. And I'm like, when do she be chill, you know?
Yeah, I
um,
mean, at home, like I've got to take that time because if I don't, I don't like going to the kitchen if my energy isn't right because all of that is going into the food. And
hmm.
believe it or not, there is a difference. Like you already know, there's things that I'll always have at the market, but a lot of times I'm a mood baker. If I'm in the
Right.
mood, like I'm in the mood to make that apple pie.
Ooh, wee. That's the best apple pie of my life.
So
Yeah.
when I'm in the mood to make something, my energy's got to be right. And so it's that extra. goodness, the extra love, the extra positivity that's going in there, and it makes a heck of a difference.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? Because even when I do eat your food, you know what? I do have a reaction. Like I'm not just eating it like passively. It's like, ooh, this like I'm just feeling so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's definitely that's all you. So that's interesting that you say that because the first person that I had on the show, he makes like music and he was saying the same thing. Yep, he was like, I can't make a beat if I'm angry. I don't like. He said some people put that in their music. He was like, I don't do that. So that's cool to see another creative say that. Like,
And
okay.
he was right. He was
Mhm.
right. You want to go in there with your energy right. At least I do. He does, and I'm sure there's others that do that because it makes a difference.
Exactly, and then it's like your focus is way better too because if I'm like if my mind is elsewhere thinking about what she said that irritated me or think stressing about a bill, I can't sit down and focus on what's in front of me. I mean I could try to, but I'd be elsewhere and I might miss out and put something in a beat or you know. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I'm happy you shared that part. So where were you at in life when you and your husband decided to do flavorful creations like mentally and all that? I know you said like, did you start it during like the economic um collapse or recession? It was like a small recession or okay.
Yeah, so that's where the whole idea came from because, like I said, he was laid off. And so it was just a really interesting time. We had just gotten married. He was laid off, and that men like to continue to provide. So in any way he could, he
Right,
was.
right.
And so with him creating the idea of the business, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like I'm like, you believe in me that much to run this business? I'm like, I just
Oh.
happy cooking from home and bringing stuff from my coworkers
Hmm.
and, getting a few dollars here and there, but just having that partner that helps elevate you, even though they're going through their own situation.
Right.
So that's kind of where we were in that state. Newlyweds,
Oh.
here comes the recession, then here comes, the job. I was working, I had my degree, but I still wasn't making that much money. He was laid off. So it was just a tight time, but still finding joy within those times.
Right. That's so beautiful because like when you was speaking on all that, it's like all this amazing things were happening in your life and then like some setbacks like sociologically like with the economy and then his job being laid off, but he still was like seeing good and seeing a tunnel and just seeing more opportunities to be creative in your life where there's like lack, like, well, we already abundant. Like, you got gifts, I got gifts, let's put them together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's amazing. That is so beautiful. Okay. So I want to ask, what made you guys name the business Flavorful Creations?
I honestly, I prayed about it, like
Nice.
for a name, because I just didn't want it to be any run of the mill type name,
Right.
and that was a name that was given, and I feel like it was just chosen, and it fits our business perfectly. Like everything that you eat is flavorful. It
Mm-hmm.
is truly a creation. It's our tagline is gourmet baked goods with a burst of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're delicious baked goods. Anybody can get a cake anywhere. You can get,
Right.
eat anywhere. But what makes us stand out is just the different components. It's that burst of flavor that you're getting. You're like, wait a second, I can taste everything in here. Like it tastes
Mm-hmm.
fresh, it tastes delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Different flavor combinations, like the mascarpone pumpkin whipped topping that I made.
Oh, yeah.
So just different things, and they just kind of like come to me. And so the name really encapsulates everything of our desserts, our how we act, like live flavorfully. Don't just
Right.
live, you know, um, a plain life. If that's what you want, then that's what you want. But add a little flavor in there every now and
Right. Right. Have some flavor about yourself.
then. Right.
All right. Right. So I know. Oh, you did a salt bay.
Right.
We named you Dessert Bay, just Dessert Bay. But so I see you say you prayed about it, right?
Right.
So how important is like your spirituality? Like how important and what big of a part has that played in like your just journey in business and creating more relationships for your business and you know just networking and everything? Like um, do you use that to like propel yourself, or do you notice that that is what keeps you, you know, lifted?
Yo, the whole entire reason that I'm sitting here now
Mm-hmm.
is through prayer, sitting on the beach.
Hallelujah. Right. She loves this beach. It's so adorable.
Being here now in existence is because of prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Look at just what 2020 has brought. So
Mm-hmm.
many people came into 2020. A lot of people didn't make it. They're not gonna make it. So prayer and spirituality and remaining grounded in my higher power is what is getting me through. Like God is the only one that's getting me through all this, helping me through. You know, other entrepreneurs know when things get tight. Like people are like, "Oh, you own your own business," and they see us at the market, and they're like, "I'll see us in all these stores," and like, "Oh, you getting all this money?" I'm like, sometimes I'm like, "Look,
Mm-hmm.
God, you don't have to help because when COVID hit, before COVID hit, we were on track to do, a certain amount and
Yeah.
propel us in a certain position. And so I was just happy. I'm like, yes, this is gonna be great. At the top of the year, we both decided collectively that I would take a break from social work and raise our boys as well as do the business full time. And
Yeah.
then bloop, COVID hit. And it's like, yeah, all those, money bags and dollar signs I saw were just like,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's finding creative ways to, propel the business forward, but just in a different direction.
Right.
And through prayer, that definitely helped me remain focused and on my goal because without that, mm-mm.
You just frantic and panicking, you know?
Yes, and I don't like panicking. I mean, it happens
Yeah.
because you wondering like, okay, well, what's next? What's gonna happen next? But trusting in God and prayer that has definitely helped. Shoot,
Yes.
I can't make it through the day without it. So.
Yeah. Put you right back in that center. Amen. um, so I was gonna ask you, cause you already answered this a little bit, but I kind of want the people who are going into business for themselves to also kind of know this. It's like, how did you leverage your media networks? Like we heard how Sarah said that she sold to her coworkers and things like that. I'm sure your family, were they supportive? And you're like, if you have a church or a spiritual community, like how was that essential in like in the beginning?
Having my close friends and family kind of like rally around and support, that means everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even now, I am so grateful for my family, for my friends, for my customers,
Mm-hmm.
because that whole community keeps me going.
Right.
Like, just encouraging me, people that come up, even if they've never been to the Eastern Market to purchase my stuff, the mere fact that they shared my post, like
Right.
my post,
Right.
commented, all of that is encouragement. My family that's like, hey, well, I'm gonna buy it from you. Nope, don't give me a discount. It's just like, but your family, that I just to have them believe in my business, even my sons, especially my oldest son, uh,
Oh.
he believes in the business.
Mm-hmm.
I put him to work.
He's super genius. Like,
Sometimes you'll see him at the table. Look,
mm-hmm.
everybody's working. But
Mm-hmm.
just having that support and that encouragement, that really helps keep me going, because especially in the beginning, there were so many times where I was like, you know what? I'm out. This is hard. And you already know entrepreneurship is hard, starting something, creating something, because if you don't have that support, if you don't have that community, if you don't have those people encouraging you, it's just like, what am I in it for?
Right. It can be discouraging for sure. Yeah. It can be very discouraging. But I learned too, like just in my little business endeavors, like my friends were like my first customers and they believed. I'm like, y'all really bought like this was like me at a point where I wasn't at my best. Y'all still believed in it, so but I'm sure your desserts was always good.
Yeah, but they, they have improved along the way. You
Yeah.
you learn different things.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I make is not a total hit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, there's very few things.
I disagree.
Well, I thought it's very few things, but I mean, every now and again, I'm like, yeah, okay. But we're our own worst
Yeah.
critic.
Right.
Because I'll
That's
have some
real.
people that's like, please, that was amazing. I'm like, we're our own worst critics, but that support is paramount.
Yep. Support.
Really, just to have people believe in you.
Right. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And like I think people should know like when you first start out, like, you were blessed to have like family and a network of the people you already knew. But sometimes, like Sarah was saying, like sometimes it's not that much support and you can get discouraged, but don't let that stop you from the grind and from your vision. But
Right.
that's very important too. So what was the first dessert that people loved?
Oh, I would definitely have to say the banana bread. The
Oh
banana
yeah.
bread, the banana bread, the
Mm-hmm.
banana. I can't I can't escape it. I can't escape it. Some days I don't feel like making it, but I've low key been semi threatened like, look, you gotta have that banana bread there.
Yeah,
But
that banana bread. It just tastes like it. You could taste the bananas, but it's like not overpowering, and then it's like so moist. It's so good. Oh, okay. So I kind of want to talk about, I guess, your culture, because I watched the show that you did with Make Food Not Waste, and you was telling that host about like your background being Jamaican, and some of the food that you create is like inspired by that, like your cultural background. So how dope is that, first of all, and then like um how important was that for you to represent for the culture?
well, I mean, it's for me. It was a family thing. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
mom always ingrained like um just being raised by a Jamaican mom. That's for any of you islanders out there. You already know. Jamaican parents, island parents, they don't play around.
Oh,
Like, you gotta give your better than best, and you gotta be on this, and but just having those moments where I did learn from my mom baking from scratch. Like I said, we had the
oh.
glass bowl, wooden spoon, and we're mixing stuff by hand. And
Mm-hmm.
this, I'm not gonna say when that was. Okay, I'm not about to date myself, but we didn't have a mixer at the time, so we had that glass bowl and wooden
Oh wow.
spoon. Probably why I have that arm strength now. I remember the
Yeah.
other day, like, you're so strong. I've been mixing in these bowls since I was like 9, so I've developed that arm
that
strength.
muscle that muscle just gonna be there forever.
But in creating that, like, we always had um, coconut. We always used like
Yeah.
mango, banana, plantain, which I saw something with plantain I kind of wanted. Just that whole island vibe
Mm-hmm.
that, being the daughter of an immigrant is just like, I work even harder. It's just ingrained in me. My mom taught me a really great work ethic.
Yeah.
So it's ingrained in my brain. So I kind of bring that to the business, as well as, some of the island flavors, especially in the rum cakes.
Yeah.
There's some different flavors of the rum cake. And it's just, I love just bringing that cultural vibe in there.
Yeah, because I honestly like just like working for you and just even just like I tell Sarah, I'm your clientele. Like don't I'm clientele. But I've been cultured because I don't think I ever tasted rum cake. Maybe a lot of people have, but I've never had rum cake before you. And even like just like a lot of stuff I just never like knew about. And so I think that's cool too. Like when you are creating your desserts and your like, I guess just desserts I would call them, but it's like you kind of teach people new things and they may not even know that this is their taste. Like, you know what I'm saying? You introduce them and upgrade their palate. So I think that's always cool. You know, because like the
You.
food I like, you know, I like different type of like food with a lot of flavor, like you said, like Sarah talks about the mangoes and the coconuts, and like that's what she grew up on. Like I didn't grow up on coconuts and mangoes. You know what I'm saying? Like just being a typical Black American and stuff like that. So that's dope.
Man,
um
I ate a lot of jerk chicken. I always get that question. Do you
ooh,
eat jerk chicken? Look, I haven't eaten jerk chicken. I finally ate it probably a few years ago because I had eaten it so much growing up.
oh yeah.
I did not want to anymore.
Jerk chicken. Woo. I don't even
Like,
eat chicken, but I used to. I don't think I ever had jerk chicken while I'm up here saying, ooh. Every time you just talk about food, I'm just excited. I
you
never
love
had
the rice and peas. The rice and peas are amazing. So I
rice
mean, you.
in Jamaican style. Yeah, it's this. Well, okay, so some Jamaican food and African food, I guess, got some similarities
Yep.
because I go to this one African restaurant over here and I had the plantains. I'm not a big fan. I don't know. So
Okay.
it depends. I guess it depends on who make it to it. So I gotta try it out again.
Well, there's two ways. I am not necessarily a fan of the softer, sweet ones. I like
Yeah.
mine before they get ripe, and then I fry them, and
Mm-hmm.
they're crispy. It's like a plantain chip. I put a little salt.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, free game, y'all.
Those ones are delicious. That's how I like my plantains, honestly. I mean, they're great when you're, softer and sweeter. That's how
Mhm.
most people enjoy them. But I like mine right before they get ripe. They're still green, and I slice them, I fry them. Oh my gosh, they're delicious.
Yeah, so if you make some ever, just bring them. I try them.
Okay.
Okay, so we were talking about how far you came to just baking in your kitchen to now vending at the biggest market day in Detroit, which is Easter Market, to having your desserts in like grocery stores and small shops. Um, are you amazed at yourself?
Yeah, yeah. There's this one. Who was this that told me to take time to celebrate for
Yeah,
myself?
I think that's a
That
friend.
was you.
Could have
Because
been.
I would get a new store. I'm like, okay, good. Gotta keep going. You're like, Sarah, just take time and celebrate. And I
Mhm.
never thought about that. And yeah, I mean, I am proud of myself because thought, I never thought that any of this would happen. And I'm just like, okay. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, gotta go to the next store. Gotta move on to the next one. What's the next thing? And it's
Mhm.
just, when you said that, it's like, take time and celebrate. You was like, yeah, you're right. I did kind of do this. Like, this was kind of dope. I did
Mhm.
so.
I think it's always important to self reflect and celebrate. So my next question, I guess we kind of answered this one. Hmm. Okay, well, no, kind of not. Okay, I can go into detail if you need me to. So what part does your creative, what part does your creativity play in your culinary process?
Ooh. Um, that's a good portion of it,
Yep.
really, because I get creative with the flavors and the taste. I get creative with my approaches. You've seen my videos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's so funny.
That's all part of the creative process.
Mm-hmm.
A very good team that I work with. Um, Hot, Hot. They do a model management and they do creative services as well, and they are a good part of my creative team. They have helped me so much along the way, so I can't just take credit for myself. Rueben has helped. You've helped. Like my other young ladies that work with me, they've helped. So, but the creative portion plays so much into it because it goes into some of the flavors, especially now. I
Mm-hmm.
love the fall flavor. So creating different things. With the marketing team that helps me, their creativity helps bring out different elements. So creativity is actually like the base when you really think about it.
That's real, right? Because I know like for say like Little Debbie's or something, right? Like it's always just gonna be blueberry muffins in a bag, you know what I'm saying? But for you, it's like for Sweetest Day, you made like a specific dessert for Sweetest Day, with the in a little heart.
Oh yeah, those strawberry cakes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
those
that
were
was super
good.
cute.
I
You
saved
know,
one for myself. They were good.
they were. See, I'm allergic to the strawberries, so
That's right.
I know. But they look so good. They smell so good. And then like for different holidays, like you kind of like do seasonal and you do like holidays. So it just like all of that is coming from your mind and your thoughts. So that's super dope that kind of you don't just do things just one way and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get, like you said, like cake and cookies, like you can get that from anywhere and nobody will be mad, but you still just keep it very unique. I guess we at the last portion of our interview. All
Okay.
right.
You know,
So what'd you say? Are
I'm
you
gonna eat a piece of cake.
okay? Go ahead. I ain't gonna eat more cookie because this is gonna make me go. All right. So my next question for Sarah, because she is a business owner and she gets to employ people. Like she said, she has a team. What is that like for you?
Mm. Interesting. Because I never thought I'd, have people, you know, working with me in this business. Because yeah, you ladies are working for me
Mm-hmm.
technically, but you're working with me.
Okay.
And that's how I like to say it, because if I didn't have you all, then I'd be screwed. Let's just be honest.
Because your
I
business is growing.
Right. And I depend on you ladies and I value you all. So it's like, yeah, you're working for me, I'm paying you, but you're working with me because I don't just see you as like, oh yeah, you here. Okay, do this. It's like I ask everybody's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I want you all to be a part of the process
Yeah.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, and then it kind of goes back to the question you had asked me initially in the beginning. Um, did I ever see myself doing this? No. Um, but what has my previous places of employment taught me? To listen,
Mm-hmm.
to include you all in the process, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants to feel like they belong or involved in some capacity. And that is how I want you all to always feel like you are involved.
Mm-hmm.
You are part of the creative process. Like what you all say to me matters, is important. And that's definitely one of the things I've learned, especially working with adolescents who are always viewed as at risk.
Yeah. I hate that term.
Don't get me started, but uh, we're all at risk of something.
That's true.
To be honest, we're all at risk of something.
Mm-hmm.
And so to just kind of generalize and categorize, those adolescents or those individuals is at risk. We're all at risk of something, but I love working with that population because it's like oftentimes people look over them, people just discount them, people just kind of, don't really pay
The
attention to them.
value.
I think that's, yeah, they undervalue them. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
Everybody's voice is important. Everybody needs to be heard. And I'm like, whoever works with me, they'll never just be treated as, oh yeah, that's just they just work for me. Yeah, she just does that. No, I value each and every one of y'all, and you
Mm-hmm.
know that.
Yes,
So
I know that. Yeah.
I
I was
don't.
just telling you. I was telling you how like working with you is like I like it because I work a lot of jobs, just to pay the rent. But it's like you know, but it's like it's busy work. When I'm working with Sarah, it's like everything we doing is has a purpose. Like I'm not just working to make the time go by. Like every minute, second counts towards her getting all of the products finished, getting out the kitchen in time, because people in businesses, they do pay to work in spaces, so when I know that, I that make me go even harder, because now I'm just such a hard worker. I like to do a lot, so nobody's going to tell me to slow down. Like, if you want to make through your 8-hour shift, like, just make time. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a waste of time. But it's like when I'm working with you in your business, like, I can see that everything I'm doing matters, and the more I can do is good. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's really dope. And that's what a boss is. A boss is, like you said, they work with people, and they not just giving out orders. They really just let you know their vision, and they believe in you to help them bring it into fruition. So I think that's dope. So my next question is going to be, what have you learned in these 8 years, 9 years?
Man, oh boy. What have I not learned? Oh my gosh. I have learned, I would say, one of the most important things I've learned. Don't give up.
Oh,
That's one of the most important things I've learned. Like I said before, being a business owner is challenging. Um, it's very challenging, especially when you have other responsibilities. Like I have children, I have a husband, that family is important to me. And so every minute I'm at the kitchen, I'm away from them. And, while taking a break, sometimes, let's just be honest, is good, but I miss them. Like when I'm at the kitchen late, I don't get to tuck them in at night. I don't get to hang out with my husband late because he's sleepy. So, it's that sacrifice. And so that can take a toll on me sometimes.
mm-hmm.
But I would say one of the most important things I've learned is to not give up and to not doubt yourself. I used to have a very bad time comparing myself to others, and Rueben has helped me out tremendously with that, because I'm like, well, you know, I was watching this show and they did this and they were doing that. And he's like, well, you can't compare yourself to others. And I would say, and I got to shout out this person because I really appreciate their word of advice. It was from Nikki's Ginger Tea.
Nice.
She told me, Sarah, grow slow.
Mm.
And that, I let that actually sink in and resonate. And it just resonated in my soul. And I was like, you know what? It's okay to grow slow. It's okay to see on TV or see other people and they're doing this and they're doing that. And I feel sometimes I'm moving at a slug's pace, not even a snail, a slug.
Mm-hmm.
When I sit back and look at, okay, well, you used to be here and now you're here. Like growing slow, it doesn't matter. I'm still growing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I'm inching along or whether I'm moving at the speed of light. It's like what that meant for me was finding my own lane, not trying to rush, not trying to force, but
Mm-hmm.
following at the path and the rate that's good for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was one of the most profound pieces of advice I've received so far.
I like that, because it's like how Nipsey Hussle said, like, it's a marathon, like, not a race. So it's like the goal is for you to just to get through and cross that finish line. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna be doing this till you like 80, 90. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when you look at it like that, you know. Um, so I guess the next question is, what have you learned about yourself personally?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Stop procrastinating. I am a big procrastinator. I was like this in college, in grad school, especially when it came time for papers. But I feel that's when I kind of do my best work because I have no choice but to get it done.
Mm.
But, like you said, now as we're growing and I have other responsibilities, I have learned not to procrastinate as much. Can't say that I still don't do it, But I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned, not to procrastinate, because honestly, sometimes we are only presented with certain opportunities for a limited amount of time, and you have to jump on that open window, move in that season,
Mm-hmm.
because that season will be over. And I don't want to miss out. When I was a child, being raised by my Jamaican mama, she always ingrained the Bible in my head.
Yeah.
And as a kid and then as a teenager, you're like, whatever, whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, I hear it. But one of my favorite like parables in there was the man with the talents.
Oh.
And I never wanted to be like the dude that had the one talent. Even though he had one talent, he didn't get as many as the other ones. He chose to take his talent and bury it. And I get where he was coming from, because it's like, well, I
Yep.
want to save it for later. But it's like, because he did that, he missed his window.
Mm-hmm.
And that talent, that one talent he had, got taken away. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I never, like, that spooked me out as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
As a
grown.
child, that's a deep one for a kid. That's too deep.
I'm grown thinking as a child, and that's probably where my
Mm-hmm.
oldest son, he takes after me in that regard with his grown thinking. But I was like, man, like, God, I never want to be like that dude with the
Yeah.
talent. So with the talents that I do have, I don't ever want to squander them.
Mm-hmm.
One of my biggest thing is, you know, if anybody has learned anything from me in this life as I transition on, whether it be out of this life or into another business venture, or, back into social work full time,
Mm-hmm.
what, whatever that person and people have learned, take that and implant that in somebody else or in other people. Like let it be like a seed, keep planting it, keep letting it grow. Don't just like bury it under rocks where it's not going to grow. It's,
Right.
the man with the
Nobody
talent.
can see it.
I was like, oh,
Right.
Lord, we can't be like them. So yeah, that's
I like that you. I'm gonna go back and read that one today because yeah, that's a good one.
it's deep. It
It
is,
it is. It
because
is
he didn't have as many as the other. But he at least had one, and he
exactly
so afraid. Like, think about how many people have stifled themselves because they're so afraid to move forward. And it's
preach.
just like, you got to, even though you're afraid, you still gotta to move forward.
Right, and it's like, and if it's like if God gave you that talent, that gift, he gonna take you somewhere with it. All you got to do is just use it.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
it's
So,
one thing I learned about you. I didn't know you was a comedian. Like you so funny.
and I'm not even trying to be funny. That's the
Yeah,
thing. Just ridiculous things come
hilarious,
out sometimes.
hilarious.
From the dancing to just who knows.
Yeah, she can dance too. She like to dance to gospel music. We just gonna say that.
Whew.
So okay, so my last question is, how far do you and your husband, shout out to Rueben, I know Rueben, he's a cool guy, but shout out to Rueben again. I was gonna edit that part. Okay, how far do you want to take Flavorful Creations? Like where you want to go with it? Where do you see yourself with it in the future?
Let's take it as far as it can go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to limit myself and say, well, I'd like to make it to this plateau. And
Mm-hmm.
that's like, I didn't think I'd make it this far.
Right.
I'd be in like, we're in six places now. Like I said, I won't ever limit where I'm going to be, because I never thought I'd be in the places I am in now. We're like in 6 locations.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought I'd even be there. So
Exactly.
I just want to take it as far as it could go. Where
Right.
what God has for me will be for me,
I
and
like that.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I want to keep taking it as far as it can go. I'm going.
And just staying in motion.
Right, and always having my end game in mind, because everything has to come to an end. Whether I pass the baton, whether
Right.
I end it, but nothing will ever be in vain. It won't
Yeah.
be like, oh yeah, I had this business and then no, nothing's ever in vain. But I'm gonna take it as far as it can go for as long as I can. And I'm okay with it.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I think every artist should think like that. Like, You should never, like, if you're a singer, or you should just sing. If you a writer, you should just write. You should put it out, but you shouldn't be like, oh, I mean, that's all good to have, like, those high things, but the thing is for you to just say, like you said, use your talents, put it out in the universe. God gonna bless it, and like that is the journey. It's not these man-made peaks. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's super dope. Do
And
you want to share anything? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say always keep your end game in mind because everything comes with an expiration date.
That's true. That's
You know,
true.
even people. So keep your end game in
That's
mind. What
bad.
I think it is not to sound morbid,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's keep your end game in mind. What do you want your end to be? What do you
Mhm.
want the end of the business to be? What do you want the end of your journey to look like? What do you want the end to look like to you? And the end doesn't necessarily mean you're just done, period, but it's like
Right.
end and then transitioning on into something else. So
Yep. 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 That's real. Because the most important thing is the people in making these businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you can do a million other things. We never know. I know you the type of person, you just gonna just show up and do what you want to do, what you can do. So that's super dope. Did you want to share anything before we go?
um well, first, I'd just like to thank you again for having me on. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I've known you for years, so I'm just so proud of, what you're doing and how
Yeah,
you're growing. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep
thank
growing
you.
how you're growing. I love it. I love it.
Oh, thank
Eat
you.
my desserts.
I will. I be wanting to buy all of them, but I'm like, it's other, I gotta let the other people taste.
And then to everybody, thank you all so much for your support. Thank you for watching this. Come check me out on Saturdays at the Eastern Market. Follow me on the social media platforms at Instagram and Facebook at Flavorful Creations LLC.
Hmm.
And I'm always keeping people updated of where I'm going to be, what I'm doing in the stores where you can find my product.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much again. You have a beautiful rest of the year,
Thank
and I'll
you.
see you soon.
Yeah, I'll see you later this week.
Yes. Bye bye. Love you, girl.
I love you too. Thank you, Meek.
You're welcome.